Secretary Reich, good to see you again. For people who aren't familiar with the receivership, what is it? Why temporary, and what would it achieve?
Well, Michelle, it is temporary, and the government merely takes over the North American operations, the subsidiary, in order to make sure the public is getting the right information, in order to make sure that risks and benefits are being weighed properly, still using the expertise and intelligence of BP. I think, in fact, in many ways, BP would want some relief and might even appreciate that direct kind of ownership. We know that Saturday, for example, Stephen Chu, the Secretary of Energy, said to BP that top gunning that you were trying to use is just too dangerous. But you see, the government right now has no official legal authority to tell BP what to do. And when we hear that this thing is going to go on till August, most Americans don't even know and have no assurance that all of the resources BP could possibly utilize are actually being utilized.
Paul, Robert Reich, several months from now, is it possible we're going to be looking at this, and just like we looked at Bernie Madoff, and the SEC comes forward and says, actually, there were like 8 times over the last 10 years where people tried to tell us and we missed it, and we're sorry and we're going to do better next time. Are we going to have that with MMS? And is that going to just prove to us once again that when the government says they're going to protect people, they actually can't or won't or don't?
Well, Michelle, regulation is imperfect, obviously. It is better than nationalization. It is better than many other things we have. But in order to have regulation that works, we've got to have regulators who believe in regulation and are genuinely going to enforce it and who don't get too cozy with those interests that are being regulated. My concern here is that we're sort of, with regard to this particular disaster, we're beyond the regulatory finger-pointing issue. I mean, we are really at a stage of national emergency. This is like, well, the analogy would be 3 Mile Island. If you have a nuclear reactor that's melting down, you don't leave it to the private company to continue to monitor and safeguard and so to oversee. You really do have to have government taking it over.
Paul, if this turns out to be